And we are live. Welcome back or welcome to the Truth Comes to Life podcast, where everything done in the dark is going to come to light. Every single detail in this world that is done in the dark is going to come to light. I'm your host, Jay Colvin, and welcome back to the show. For those of y'all that are new, on the Truth Comes to Life podcast, we talk about news from all over the world, the music industry, and more. Be sure to check out my previous podcast episode on the channel, and also be sure to check out my Real Spill Wednesdays. On Real Spill Wednesdays, we talk about life topics and motivational quotes. Please, if you're interested in that, be sure to check out my Real Spill Wednesdays here on the channel. Also, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join the family. We done posted over 80 plus videos on the page. 62 subscribers are going to keep on coming with the content. Y'all keep on supporting me by hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and turning on post notifications so that way you get the latest update on when I post a podcast episode or a Real Spill Wednesday. Also, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the Truth Comes to Light podcast, because who knows, whatever I do post on one of those pages could kind of give you like a foreshadow on what I could potentially post in the next podcast episode. So stay tuned by following me on those platforms. Like I said, thank y'all for 62 subscribers. Keep on hitting that subscribe button. Keep on showing support on the pages, whether that's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Share this with your friends. Keep on showing support because it gives me motivation each and every chance that I can in order to make videos for y'all, so that way y'all can see. And it's all about just y'all hearing my opinion. We all come together about certain topics that I do talk about. That's what the whole thing is about. So for y'all that are supporting and keep on coming back to the channel, I really appreciate it, and it really means the world to me. So with that in mind, let's get straight into this podcast episode. So like I said earlier, follow my Real Spill, because this first topic that I'm talking about is basically, I was talking about it in my Real Spill, but I'm going to more so tell y'all the overall and what happened versus in the Real Spill. Since it's more life topic, I kind of go in depth on basically my feelings towards it and how life paints it. So my Real Spill came from this topic. So it actually happened 30 minutes away from Houston. It was a 17-year-old kid, Daryl George, and his family files a civil rights lawsuit against Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton. This comes after he was suspended from his high school, Barbers Hill in Mount Bellevue, Texas, because his hair violated the district's dress code, that his hair cannot be worn in a style that extends below the top of his shirt, below his earlobes, and below his eyebrows. So his family is basically suing and putting a civil rights lawsuit because it's violating the Crowns Act, which is basically you can't be discriminated based off your hair. So they're basically putting a whole lawsuit out, and he's not the only person that this has actually happened to at that school. There was a couple of people, one by the name of DeAndre Arnold and Cindy Bradford, who had the same issue. They ended up getting suspended by that school, Mount Bellevue, for having dreads, and they threatened Daryl George that if he doesn't cut off his dreads, he will not be able to go to the school that he is going to. He has to be sent to an alternative school. And the crazy thing about it is Daryl George's hair, his locks, is intertwined with not only his locks, but his father's locks and his grandfather's locks. So the parents do not intend on Daryl to cut off his dreads, meaning that he will potentially have to go to an alternative school until he is able to cut off his locks, or he can transfer. Now, just like I said with the other people, DeAndre Arnold and Cindy Bradford, they had ended up transferring after having the same situation, and they ended up filing civil lawsuits against the school, and that is still on ongoing investigation. And it's kind of crazy because of the simple fact that the Crowns Act, Governor Greg Abbott had ended up signing up on it, and it went into effect September the 1st, so that way people cannot be hair discriminated based off their hair and if it's a historical thing. So locks are basically mainly historical for black people. So with that in mind, they can't be discriminated on any of that. So with the school, they're trying to say that the length of the hair doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting discriminated. Basically trying to find loopholes to that way they can follow the rules of the Crowns Act. They don't have to follow the rules because it's a whole nother set of rules. It's kind of like a loophole that they're trying to find in the rule book, but the parents had ended up following the civil lawsuit against them, stating that even if that is a part of the loophole, it still feels as though that their son is being discriminated off their hair. So with that in mind, and I want y'all to understand this. So the Crowns Act has been going on for a little minute. California was the first state to pass the Crowns Act, so that way people cannot be discriminated based off of their hair. But this is not a statewide thing in regards to every single state does not have the Crowns Act. So you can still be discriminated no matter where you go based off your hair. There's some states that have it set, but there's some states that don't have it set. Texas is one of the states, luckily, that does have it set. But everywhere you go, you're still going to get discriminated based off the type of hair that you have, especially locks. I feel like locks is one of the biggest hairstyles that get discriminated upon, that gets talked about the most, of their character being bad. And it's just crazy for him because he can't even go to his own school unless he cuts off his locks. You got other races that can have mullets, that can have any other type of cuts with long hair, but that doesn't get in effect the Crowns Act. But if it's just locks, that's going to be basically discriminated because of the simple fact that it's unprofessional. It doesn't look good for a professional standpoint. And I just never got that. And I said this in my real spill. Anytime that you go somewhere with locks, you're going to get profiled. They're going to think that you're a bad person. If you have tattoos, they're going to think that you're a bad person. They think all of that is unprofessional. And it's kind of crazy living in this world because nowadays, locks is a popular trend. I have locks, clearly. I didn't necessarily follow the trend. That's not what I'm saying. But locks is the new trend. And it's been the new trend for now a couple of years. So now kids all over the world are getting locks. But what people don't know is that the biggest con with that is the fact that you will get, discriminated and get talked about, profiled based off your hair. They're going to think that you're a bad person. If they can't see your face, they're going to automatically think that you're up to no good. If you have tattoos, they're going to think that you're up to no good. That's why with jobs, you can't have some jobs you can't have tattoos. You got to have your hair up a certain way because that's the professional look. Who said that should be the professional look? Last time I checked, you should be able to do whatever you want. You should be able to color your hair, have tattoos. Now look, I can see if the school district said you can't have these irregular color dyes like your purples, your greens, and orange. Even though that is still messed up, I still wouldn't be a pro to that. I will still have some issues towards it, but there are school districts out there that have that because it's not your true hair color and it kind of disrupts kids. I can see if they say that, but the fact that you can't even have locks past your eyebrows because of how society paints it in a way that if it is below that and they can't see your face, they're going to think that you're just this bad person and all of that. And the character that they believe that you are is not even the case. You can go up to them and talk to them and be like, hey, I didn't even think that you was even like that. That's exactly what they're going to say. But if they would have just gave you a chance instead of judging you by your cover, your looks, they would know that. They would know that. But they don't want to see that from the aspect of how we are as people. They see first impressions. They see what you look like. They see if you don't have clothes, they're going to think that you're poor. If your hair isn't professional, up, cut, groomed, they're going to think you're up to no good. If you don't have the shoes, if you don't have the clothing, if you don't have your hair right, if you don't have anything, if you're less than, in their eyes, they're going to think that based off what they see, based off their first impressions. But when they actually talk to you and y'all actually have a conversation, come to find out that's not even you, they're surprised. They're surprised. But if you didn't just judge them, you would have never even thought of that. And it's crazy because every single state isn't like that. I don't see what's the point in not having that law for all states. There's still some sort of discriminating anywhere that you go. The law hasn't changed, and the laws has been here since the beginning of time, but you still have things that are going on that were going on hundreds of years ago. You got black people still going through the same thing that they was going through 100 years ago in regards to discriminating. And with us black people, it's hard for us to do certain things compared to other races out there. We're already at a disadvantage. Us having tattoos makes us at a disadvantage. Us having locks makes us at a disadvantage. For jobs, for simple jobs. Us having a criminal background, whether that's black, white, anything, you already at a disadvantage. But based off the way that you look, and to society it's not professional, we're at a disadvantage already. It's not that many black podcasters out there. It's not that many black people that are in jobs, period. And most of them that are in jobs that are up there high paying, they had to adapt to the professional look. They can't have the tattoos. They can't have the hair a certain way. Now, granted, there's some that are out there that are like that, but what's the percentage of that compared to the bigger picture that are going with what society quotes as being professional? Short haircut, no tattoos, all of that. We're already at a disadvantage because we can't be ourselves. Because we'll get talked about in some way, shape, or form. And for this kid not being able to go back to his high school, he has to go to an alternative school. He's been in ISS. Can't even see his friends for weeks. The other students, they couldn't even go to their graduation ceremony, so they had to transfer in order to do that. Your hair shouldn't define who you are. Your hair shouldn't be the breaking point of you not going to your graduation ceremony. You not even starting school. And the fact that there's still schools out there that'll do that. Private schools, public schools, all types of schools. And the fact that this is a public school. This is a public school. And obviously, like I said earlier, his hair is intertwined with his dad's and his grandfather's. So there ain't no way that he'll cut that off. People grow their locks for different reasons. People grow their locks for culture. People grow their locks for spiritual reasons. People grow their locks for wanting just to follow the trend. People want to grow their locks for a whole lot of different reasons. There's pros to having locks. A whole lot of pros. Maintenance is way less. But the con that no one really wants to look at is the simple fact you will get profiled no matter where you go. And you see it every day. You see it every day. I have my personal experiences on me getting profiled, going somewhere. But you having locks makes it worse. You getting inked up makes it worse. So it makes us as people have to question certain things that we would want to do. Is it really worth it? Because to other people that were under, in parentheses, work or boss, it won't be professional to them. You hear all the time, you got to get your tattoos once you get your job. Because there's some jobs out there you can't have tattoos. They have to be covered. Or you can't have them, period, or you won't get the job. So they tell us to wait to get the tattoos until we get the job, until we're actually sitting comfortable. And then we can express by getting our tattoos and getting locks. But it shouldn't even have to be like that in the first place. We should be able to get our tattoos. We should be able to grow our hair out. Do whatever we want to do. Males, females, blacks, white, any race. We should be able to do what we want to do and know that we can still get this job. We shouldn't have to be hesitant on doing something that we want to do because our boss or someone that's on top of us wouldn't like that. It doesn't look appealing at all. What doesn't look appealing about it? And Texas approving this law, and things are still going on, and the school district is trying to find loopholes and trying to say that the law that they have, the student policy that they have about the length of the hair doesn't match up with hair discrimination. Is still crazy to me, because why are you still trying to find loopholes or something when that's the overall thing of it? You're discriminating based off the type of hair that you have. It could be short, it could be long, it could be whatever, but it's still the type of hair that are primarily worn by black individuals. So we know that it's a race thing. They're not going to say that it's a race thing. Greg Abbott hasn't done anything. Ken Paxton, he's going through a whole trial. He's for sure not doing anything right now. And the other instances with DeAndre Arnold and Cindy Bradford, that's still going on. And that's been 2 years ago in 2021. So it's been 2 years and they haven't got no word. So the school district can still do whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to do. Unless they get answers that they have to change the school policy. But until they change the school policy, it'll still be the same thing for each and every student that is there. They got to have their locks a certain way. They can't have locks. They can't have it this long. Like, that's just discriminating. Anywhere that you go, you'll get profiled. Anywhere. People see first impressions of you. Like I said, if you look a certain way, they're going to think that you're a certain way. They're going to think that you act a certain way. You can be in the worst part of town and dress a certain way, and they're going to think that you're a part of that environment that acts that way, but in actuality, you're not. Not everyone is going to act how their environment is. Not everyone is going to talk to people a certain way based off where they are, or treat people a certain way based off where they are. But if you don't give them a chance to even express themselves, how would you even know that? But you're judging them based off where they're at. Some people don't have what the average people to above average people have. They might have to live in the hood. That don't mean everyone in the hood is bad. Just because we have locks, that don't mean that we're automatically bad. We criminals. We're just following the trend. We're doing it for different reasons. Just like people are in the hood for different reasons. They don't have money to go to the suburbs. That's where they feel comfortable at because all of their family members are there. But that don't mean that the people there are these hood rats, hoodlums, or whatever you want to call them, and they're going to treat you a certain way. They're going to rob you. They're going to kill you. They're going to do whatever to you. But if you don't give them a chance and you don't talk to them, how would you know that? Just like with having locks. If you don't even give them a chance to express themselves to you, how would you know if they're actually good people with big hearts, very caring, or if they're real deal criminals? How would you know if someone that has tattoos is genuinely a good person or not if you don't even go up and talk to them? But you're profiling them from the very jump. You're judging them from the very jump. And that's where the world just gotta just sit down and just think, like, give people chances before you just automatically think of a person. Because people be going through things. Everybody goes through something. So with this incident, I don't know if he will get answers. Because this is not the first time this has happened at the school. This is probably the first time that it's reached national attention. It's been on CNN News. But will it get attention? I don't know if it'll get attention from Greg Abbott because Greg Abbott hasn't even said anything. It's seeming like he doesn't really care, and it's crazy because he signed off on it a couple months back, and it went into effect in September. The Crown Act went into effect on September 1st. And you're still having instances of hair discrimination and schools trying to find loopholes to get out of the Crown Act. There shouldn't be no discriminating of hair. Locks, mullet, Edgar cut, waves, mohawk, afro, curls, Jerry curls, whatever. It should all just be the same. Everybody should be the same. My hair shouldn't define who I am as a person. Me having long dreads, even though that they're up right now, shouldn't define me as a person. Same with tattoos. Tattoos is just art on your body. You're expressing yourself in some way, shape, or form. Just like with locks, it's an expression. It comes from different things. Just like with his locks, it's intertwined with his dad's and his grandfather's. So there ain't no way that he will cut off his hair. I wouldn't even personally cut off my hair if that was the story behind it. Everyone that grows their hair out has some sort of story. Whether that's just because or whatever. Everyone has a reason for growing out their hair. But it shouldn't be an issue to the point to where I can't go and get an education because my hair doesn't meet the standards of the school and it's not professional. Because they have laws like that for a reason. They're not going to have laws and rules without reasoning behind it. So whatever their reason for not being able to have locks that long is BS to me. Just like they have laws with beards and stuff like that. I feel like that's BS too. But I really hope that this family does get justice because they deserve it. You should be able to go to any school and it should be focused on education. Your focus is education. Not my hair is a certain length and it ruins the education of other people, because it doesn't. Like I said, the only way that could potentially ruin education for others is if they dye their hair green, purple, pink, like outrageous colors that distract people. And that's like the only reason. And I don't even agree to that, because you should be able to do what you want to do. So if people are able to dye their hair the outrageous colors, green, pink, purple, I'm not saying outrageous in a bad way. I'm just saying like irregular, out of the ordinary, not like your browns, your blondes. People should be able to have their hair a certain length, express themselves. People go through things when they grow out their hair. Spiritual, it's a lot. But I really do hope that Daryl George's family can get justice and they get a response. Obviously, transfer, go to a different school, go somewhere to where you can get your education and you know that you can get your education instead of having to think about your hair and it not being professional and not good enough for whatever school you want to go to. Go to a different school. I hope that you get justice for this. I hope DeAndre Arnold and Sidney Bradford gets justice for this, even though it's 2 years. Continue to fight, because this is not right. And like I said, there's still schools out here that don't have the Crowns Act, so you can still get discriminated based off your hair, which I don't understand why. Why don't all 50 states have that law? I thought we were done with discrimination. I thought that was in the past, but you still see it till this day. Still see some sort of discrimination. It's not as bad as what it was. It was way worse back then. But the fact that it's still here is the bigger picture, and it's the bigger issue. So let's move on. So, another incident that happened in Alabama, Birmingham, where in one of my earlier podcast episodes, Carly Russell was there, and she faked getting kidnapped in Hoover, Alabama, which is not that far from Birmingham. So now another incident that happened in Birmingham, Alabama, at Minor High School, where Alabama high school band director Johnny Mims was tased repeatedly and arrested for resisting arrest by police officers after he refused to stop his band from playing in the bleachers following a football game. He went on an interview with ABC News. Mims accused that the police was using excessive force, and he stated that he did not deserve to be tased. He was just the bus driver, and he is responsible for these kids to go home. And the fact that he got tased twice or 3 times, that's excessive, and he wasn't running and he wasn't going nowhere. Now I want y'all to see this video. We're gonna look at this video together. Ready? This is on ABC News, so I want y'all to look. was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and harassment. Now, in the video, it's kind of clear that part of it was split off. Now, with these bands, I know in Alabama they have something called the fifth quarter. For those of y'all that do not know, the fifth quarter is kind of like a HBCU thing where after the game is over, the bands from both schools will have like a little band off, which basically they play a couple songs and they go back and forth with each other. And people go there and watch that. Now, see, this is a high school, so this is a little bit different. So you really can't bring HBCU things to a high school. You got to get that gets approved by people ahead of that. So this was after a football game. The lights had went off and all of that. So in the video, you could clearly see that police asked Johnny Mims multiple times to stop playing the music. And he clearly said, and not in this video, but there was another video, he clearly said, "Get out my face." He said, "Get out my face" to the officers multiple times. And he refused to let the band just stop playing, and he basically told the police officers to get out my face, and he ordered the band to play again. So that's already where he had messed up. You don't tell no police officers to get out my face, like, period. Even though that they're still human like us, you don't tell them to get out your face and then you just order the band to play. That's number one. Now, the officers was calling him the N-word. One of them in the videos called him an N-word. And you could clearly see in the video that there was kind of like a cutoff. There was probably about like a 2-minute cutoff. It had to be a couple of minutes because they were on the bleachers at first. And then when the video had cut, now they're on the ground. So there was a split off. So either the body cam, they don't have all the body cam footage, or the body cam was turned off. But officers can't turn off their body cam while they're on duty. So with that in mind, something was cut out. So when they were standing on the ground, you could clearly see Johnny Mims is not doing anything. Mind you, there's kids around. There was over 150 kids in the band just watching the whole thing transpire. So Johnny Mims was not doing anything. He was just standing still. He wasn't doing anything. And one of the officers claimed to say that Johnny Mims had pushed him and it caused for the officers to tase Johnny Mims multiple times. But as you could clearly see in the video, he was just standing there. He was literally just standing there doing his own thing. So do I believe that officers were using excessive force? Yes, I do. However, Johnny Mims didn't have to tell officers to get out my face, get out my face, get out my face. You don't tell no officers to do that. Then you got to think about the kids. You have 150 kids that you are directing at a high school football game. When police comes, you can't just think about just you. You have to think about the kids. These kids are now probably traumatized from this situation. But you were too busy focusing on yourself, I feel like, to where now this situation could have easily been prevented had you just stopped the band right then and there. That doesn't give right to the officers to tase you 2-3 times, multiple times. But I'm just saying, if you would have more so thought about it from the kids' perspective, if Johnny Mims would have thought about it from the kids' perspective, and when the officers told him to stop playing and then the football lights had turned off, if he would have just stopped right there and been like, "Hey, let's pack it up and go home," then this whole thing probably would not have happened. Okay, you said that both high schools agree. You said that your high school and the other high school that you were playing, they agreed. And yes, it was the last song, because they played a total of 3 songs. And they got through the first 2 songs. Both high schools got through the first 2 songs. And the high school that they were going up against, they got through the 3rd song. So then when it was time for them to play, that's when the police had ended up coming. Okay, I can see that. But these are kids. These are high school kids. High school kids probably haven't even seen police brutality or any of that up until that point in time. Now these kids got to get counseling. They probably had a good relationship with Johnny Mims, but the fact that they now saw how police interacted with Johnny Mims, you could clearly see in the video that they was like, bro, what's going on? That's a sight that you will always keep in the back of your mind for the rest of your life. Seeing someone get tased. Obviously, it's not as bad as someone getting shot at, but that's not me disregarding the whole situation at all. That's still traumatizing to any kid, whether that's a high school kid or that's just a little kid. And the fact that Johnny Mims didn't do anything in regards to using excessive force or acting like he was going to use force, it kind of paints the picture to these kids that the things that they see on the news with police brutality and police using excessive force is actually real because it's happening right in front of them. So yes, they're going to be traumatized and they're going to be thinking like this police brutality and police using excessive force is actually real. So when they go out and police pull them over, those kids, if they wasn't scared, then they're for sure going to be scared now. Because now they done seen a traumatizing experience of their own band director getting tased multiple times. Him getting called the N-word by a black police officer. Because based off the video that we seen, now obviously we only have one body cam footage. There was multiple officers. There was 3 officers. So we need to see the other body cam footage of the 2 officers that were there. But the fact that the one that we saw was a clear-cut video that he was not doing anything, number 1. Number 2, the video got cut out, meaning that somebody cut that part out because it's not just going to turn off. No officer is going to have their body cam off when they're on duty, especially with that. So that had to intentionally get cut out. So ABC News is trying to get that footage. Everyone's trying to get that footage that is investigating the case. So we really just have to see the other body cam footage angles. Because based off what we saw, it's a clear-cut sight that Johnny Mims did not do anything to cause excessive force or cause him to get tased multiple times. He should not have got tased in the first place. Yes, it got heated. It was a heated argument. He could have maybe got arrested, but tased because he was just standing there. I feel like that should not have even happened. And now these kids are getting left traumatized. And Minor High School had said that they are now providing counselors for every single band student that was there if they do need it, which is good. But all of this could have easily been prevented if he did stop. I'm not disagreeing with that. But you got to look on the other side and think that police brutality and police overusing their powers is still real in this world. Police in general will use their powers, overuse their powers. Sometimes police will just think that just because they have that black vest on, that they're just superior to regular people like me and like you that are watching this video. Or people in the world. When in reality, we're all just the same individual. We're still people at the end of the day. We still got to do certain things. We still have feelings. We're still human. Just because you're your police officers, firefighters, military people, y'all are still humans. But don't overuse your powers just because now you have access to it. And Johnny Mims went on the press because even after the situation and he didn't do anything, he was placed on administrative leave by Minor High School, which I don't understand because he didn't do anything. Now, obviously, okay, he has a criminal record now, quote unquote, so they got to take some sort of measures. But if you look at the video, when it did come out, you clearly see that he didn't do anything. But I can see if they do get rid of him because it's kind of protocol. If you do get arrested, they got to put you on leave, like automatically. But they did it so early without getting the full picture. They probably heard that he got arrested and then automatically put him on administrative leave instead of hearing from the kids what actually happened that night. Because the kids should be able to tell. The kids, if this does go to trial or whatever happens, they're going to be on that stand for sure. It's not going to be all of them because they're going to be too traumatized from the incident. But someone has to speak. Because if no one speaks, then the situation is going to keep on going. Police are still going to be using their force, their powers excessively. They're going to keep on doing it until someone actually speaks. One instance happened and someone speaks about it. Police brutality and excessive force has been going on, but when George Floyd said something, well, he didn't say anything, but he ended up getting recorded and he passed away right then and there. That was when people actually sat down and wanted change. With Trayvon Martin, with all of these other people. They actually now realize that this is an ongoing thing, and then that's when they want to make a change. A problem has to occur in order for a solution to happen. But no one will see the problem if it's not recorded. Now in 2023, especially with police, you gotta record it. You gotta see that body cam. Because if you don't, this will still be going on. It will be like nothing ever happened. But now since we see the videos, it's just adding more and more and more to how much these police really try and have powers over just regular human beings, regular citizens. And it's just crazy because it'll never stop. It'll never stop. You see police officers all the time. They have instances like this. They have a record of bad stops, bad traffic stops, excessive force, corrupting of their power, like all of these things. And all they do is they probably get laid off by that county, but they just go to a different county and work. If it's something small and it's not recorded. It's like they get slaps on the wrist every single time. But the moment that it is recorded and it actually makes national attention, then that is when something happens. That's when a change happens. Change will happen for a couple of months, maybe a couple of years, and then it'll get right back to where it was. The George Floyd incident was like a couple of years ago. Beginning of quarantine. And now look, you still see police using excessive force. You don't even hear people talk about Black Lives Matter. That were so heavy on the Black Lives Matter movement when that happened. But what they don't know is Black Lives Matter has been going on well before that. But since this situation happened, they were on the Black Lives Matter train for months. And then when the verdict had came out and he got sent to jail, Derek Chauvin got sent to jail. And a few months later goes by, people don't even talk about Black Lives Matter anymore. When is there going to be a change that actually sits in society with police using excessive force and abusing their powers? Police brutality, all of that. There can't be change for just a couple of years or a couple of months. The change got to be for a lifetime. So that way the same problems don't keep on occurring. So we got to keep on getting these body cam footages. Keep on recording. But now with these kids, they're going to be scared of the police. They're going to be traumatized because of them seeing their band director get tased. And you never know. Based off what Jimmy Mims said, he actually had a relationship with all of these kids that he worked with. All of the kids that he worked with in the band. So if that seemed to be true, and some of these kids might have the opinion that Johnny Mims was their favorite teacher, period, the fact that they see him get tased is a bad look for all of these kids out here. Because now they're going to be traumatized. Now they're going to be scared. If they get pulled over by the police, that's the first thing that they're going to think of. Especially if he didn't do anything. If he was just standing there and he got tased 2 to 3 times, they're going to think if they don't do anything, we're still going to get tased. They're still going to get tased. Whoever's in the car with them are going to get tased. They're now going to have these thoughts. The things that they were seeing on TV about how police are operating in the world is actually true. But it shouldn't be like that. But until we keep on recording and until us as people keep on fighting for change against police brutality and police using excessive force, it'll never change. So we got to keep on fighting. And I pray for each and every one of these kids that witnessed Johnny Mims get tased multiple times. Like I said, this incident could have been prevented. But I'm not saying that to sugarcoat that the police use excessive force as well. So with that, let's move on. So, Katy Perry sells her catalog rights to Litmus Music for $225 million. This included multi-platinum songs such as Dark Horse, Roar, Fireworks, and California Girl. She then also had songs such as Hot and Cold, Teenage Dream, and I Kissed a Girl. Now, Katy Perry, for those of y'all that do not know, has the most diamond songs of any female artist. She has 4 diamond songs. She was tied with Lady Gaga with 3 diamond songs. And then Roar made the 4th diamond song. So now she has the most diamond songs of any female artist. So that is good for her. Now, I have been seeing a whole lot of people been selling their catalog. Future sold half of his catalog. You got John Legend selling his catalog. You got just people just selling their catalogs. You just had 5-Year-Old Foreign who just posted a tweet a couple of days ago saying that he could potentially sell his catalog for 8 mil, but he's not. I mean, 8 figures, but he's not going to do that. So the fact that Katy Perry sold her catalog for $225 million, I honestly feel like that's cheap. 4 diamond songs, Dark Horses, $225 million alone. You feel me? Roar, $225 million alone. Fireworks, $225 million alone. California Girls, $225 million alone. And you sold all of that for $225. That your diamond songs, since you have the most diamond songs out of any female artist, that amount of Diamond songs, each single should be at least 225 mil. And the fact that Katy Perry has Hot and Cold, Teenage Dream, Part of Me, I Kissed a Girl. You have multiple songs on the side of that went platinum. 5 albums. There is no way that you can sell 4 Diamond songs and all of that for just $225 million. Okay? And Katy Perry hasn't dropped in a long time. It's been a minute since Katy Perry has dropped. But 225 mil for 4 Diamond songs. I feel like no matter how big you get, you should never sell your catalog, no matter how much it is for. Yes, your catalog, if you are big and you are famous, is going to be worth a whole lot of money. But you might have kids, you might have people that actually want to listen to your music and your film, but the fact that you selling your catalog, now you don't even have it no more. You just selling your music right then and there. You selling what you worked hard for right then and there. And each one of Katy Perry's Diamond singles is worth $225 million alone. I personally think out of the Diamond songs, Dark Horse is the best Diamond song. Even though she has Roar. Roar was that song for years. Fireworks was that song for years. California Girls was that song for years. But Dark Horse with her and Juicy J, I believe that is the best song that is Diamond for Katy Perry. Now, 225 mil. I don't know, some people be selling their catalog because they don't have no money. But do I believe that Katy Perry doesn't have no money? Absolutely not. I just feel as though Katy Perry selling her catalog for only 225 mil when she has the most Diamond songs is beyond me. Crazy. That is crazy, man. 4 Diamond songs, all of your achievements that you have accomplished, I feel as though with that, you shouldn't even sell your catalog right then and there. But people have business decisions that they have to make. And you've had other artists in the past that have sold their catalog for millions of dollars. Now, I'm not saying 225 mil is not a lot. I'm not saying that anything above millions of dollars, $1 million is not a lot. That's a lot of money. But I feel as though it's a bigger thing that you have to think about. This is your hard work. This is something that you have worked hard for. This is your life. This is your job. And the fact that you're giving your catalog all away, it was like, what's the point in even doing what you just did? Yes, you're making a bag off of it. But sometimes it just can't be about the money. Sometimes it gotta be about the hard work and something that you truly love and truly care about. So for Katy Perry selling her catalog, it's kind of like she basically threw away the hard work, even though she didn't throw it away because she got a bag off of it. But it's like that's the work that you have been, striving hard for years. Years and years. And you're just giving it away to somebody just for a bag. Like, it shouldn't be just because of money. It should be bigger than that. But Katy Perry ended up getting the bag. No doubt about it. Katy Perry got that bag. So the last topic I do want to talk about. This is the biggest thing that has been going on in the sports world. This is the hottest news in the sports world right now. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are talking to each other. Taylor Swift was seen at last week's Chiefs-Bears game with Travis Kelce's mom. and everybody was literally talking about it. Now, I got Travis Kelce on my fantasy league, so I knew Travis Kelce, once he saw Taylor Swift was going to be at the game, he was going to have to perform, and he sure did perform, scoring a touchdown late in the game. And at the end of the Chiefs and Bears game, they were seen walking out of Arrowhead Stadium together. Now, Travis Kelce's been on a roll, on and off the field, scoring 7 offs and off the field. You feel what I'm saying? And I know he was nervous. I know he was nervous to shoot his shot at Taylor Swift. There was just rumors that were going on that they were talking, but it really wasn't like out there. And then you had his brother, Jason Kelce, was on a podcast, and he was basically confirming the news that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were basically talking. You had Bill Belichick, who had an input about Taylor Swift because he is a Swiftie, because Taylor Swift had performed at Gillette Stadium. So Bill Belichick was basically applauding Travis Kelce, and all the Swifties have been on Travis Kelce. His jersey sales has increased by 400%. How does your jersey sales increase by 400% and you're a Hall of Fame tight end? That's the crazy thing. Travis Kelce is one of the best tight ends in the game and of all time. And how does his jersey number increase by 400%? Are you serious? He had already had a whole lot of people buying his jerseys because he's one of the all-time great tight ends, 2-time Super Bowl champion. And the fact that he dates Taylor Swift, it just brought a whole lot more people to Travis Kelce. A whole lot of Swifties towards Travis Kelce. Everybody likes how Travis Kelce looked. Especially when he had his beard, you had people that were literally wanting to talk to him. Now you have people like his ex that are hating on Travis Kelce and was trying to warn Taylor Swift, saying once a cheater, always a cheater, because Travis Kelce had ended up cheating on her. But this is Taylor Swift that we're talking about. Travis Kelce may have his fun for sure, but Travis Kelce just having him a time. Travis Kelce just living his best life. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see more football players do this. You're going to see more people in sports do this. They're going to start shooting their shots. I recommend them shoot their shots. I recommend everyone to shoot their shots. I'm a firm believer of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Travis Kelce shot his shot and basically told Taylor Swift to come to Arrowhead Stadium. And sure enough, what did Taylor Swift do? Because Taylor Swift got that money. Popped up to Arrowhead Stadium. And when Travis Kelce scored a touchdown, she was literally excited. She was jumping up and down. Happy. Then you saw the video when they were walking out. She was smiling. She was happy. She was just enjoying the moment. And Travis Kelce will continue to do his thing. And it's not like Travis Kelce is blowing up because of Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce has always been Travis Kelce. Always been him in regards to football. Will be a Hall of Famer when he does retire. First ballot Hall of Famer. But the fact that he was already him and his jersey sales because of the Swifties increased by 400% is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And it is reported that Taylor Swift will be going to the next game when they play the Jets. So that'll be very interesting to see Taylor Swift see Travis Kelce again. And I wonder how long this is going to last. I wonder how long their little affair is going to last. But Travis Kelce has been scoring touchdowns on and off the field. Because Taylor Swift is just something serious. But you're gonna have people that hate, like the girlfriend once a cheater, always a cheater. Just hating because she ain't no Taylor Swift. Truth be told. So I wonder how long that is going to last. Hopefully that does last a pretty fair amount of time. And if Taylor Swift is having fun and Travis Kelce's having fun with it, that's all that matters. But it will be a very interesting sight to see if Taylor Swift does go to the Chiefs next game. So with that in mind, that is the end of this episode. If you done made it to the end, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get the latest updates on when I post a real spill or a podcast episode. Y'all follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at The Truth Comes to Life Podcast. And with that, that is the end. And I love y'all, and y'all have a nice rest of y'all night.